welcome to Today at the Races. It is November 8th, and we are outside today, Keith.
It's a beautiful day again. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like Groundhog Day, right? Just day after day after day.
But not in a bad way.
No, not in a bad way whatsoever. Yeah, I think we might have some showers, and we need some rain. Let's face it, it's been a long, long time. Maybe late in the day on Sunday, but tomorrow another big card. This weekend
Huge card
starts
tomorrow.
off today with a bang,
It's easy.
and it continues on through Sundays. Everybody kind of makes that last rush for the turf because our turf season, it looks like it's going to end on the 10th on
Yes.
Sunday. But we've been blessed, you said, by this weather and being able to give you big fields, really competitive racing, and it's going to hold sway here through the next 3 days.
As you mentioned, it's our closing turf season weekend here, and we're going to go out, as you mentioned, with a bang. Nice carryover that we had in the late pick 5 last Sunday.
Yeah, we had a big one, a payout of 21, right? 21,000. We had a string of prices along the way. Highwayman, I went for the wrong mats in that race.
That's okay.
It was a Highwayman, Chevy Man, exacta.
Highwayman. Oh, yes.
But yeah, I think he paid like $30. So yeah, I mean that's the challenge that we're faced with. But it's fun. I mean, it can get a little bit grueling at times. It tests your mettle, but. Hey, we're back at it today, and I'm looking forward. I got a couple good prices that hopefully we can connect with on today's card. But great win by the Ravens last night. Good to see some past and present MJC employees. I'm not going to name names because we might have had a little bit of a good time, but no, it was a good time there. 35-34 win. That place was rocking last night down at M&T Bank. But let's get back to the races.
We support good times
Yes.
all around here at Maryland Jockey Club, and let's talk about a couple of these prices. We'll fish through it, starting with this early pick 5
Okay.
and this claiming 30,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3, going a mile and an 16th
Yeah.
on the turf. Scratches in the 4, 5, at 13, and at 15. Keith, you go with the number 1, El Delary, Antonio Machado, Carlos Lopez. Let's go ahead and take a look. Why
Yeah.
though? 9-2 right now, coming from that 12-1 morning line.
My old buddy, El
It
Delary.
is,
Oh,
yeah.
man, I just chase him. He's a 5-time winner in a condition where limited for the older that have not won 3. And again, in this race last time out, I don't know if he was going to make up all of this ground, but he gets in a little pickle. Geron tries to save ground. I've got no problem with that. Unfortunately, a little bit of bad luck here at the 3/16. Just when his momentum, a couple horse from the outside comes over, he just gets stymied, and the rest is history. He just really can't make up a whole lot of ground. Willing, I thought, enough to the wire, and he's run against and beaten better fields, some deeper fields. I think there's flow in here. I think you're going to see Missionaire, possibly Addicted to You, Rojo Redemption. I lucked out. And we've seen this course now. It's playing very fair, this turf course, and maybe even a little bit of a slight edge. If you see kind of a little bit of an abundance of speed, you got to lean
They
closers.
stick
They're
around.
just not going to hang. I think these closers are going to kind of come in and make the run. El Delary at a number right now that I think should float up back more towards that 12-1 morning line.
Absolutely. Then you go 1, 2, 2, and 3, Prowling Tiger,
Yeah.
Russell off of coming a 489-day layoff.
Well, that's never a problem, it seems, for this barn, right? And he's listed as a gelding now, so I'm not sure if it's a reported first-time gelding, but wanted to pass along that information for the 2 Prowling Tiger. Yeah, I mean, finished, his last race back in July of 23, the win over a softer going. He's fine on a firm going. He's run against the right kind of look at Evan Harlan. And again, I like the position here inside. They're going to bring him back late in the season and try to get a win.
Absolutely. 3-7 to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Anything to add with Addicted to You
Well,
or the number 7 Sunshine Frolic for Farrier?
Yeah, he ran better. I thought last time from that outer post, 4 to 3 wide turns, just a slight flattening late. Again, going to have to time the rally perfectly for that one at the mile and a 16th distance. Addicted to You just been hampered. Last couple starts, overland trip, and a steady 2 back. He hasn't had the easiest of goes of it up in New York. Might catch a touch of relief in this field, but this is a good competitive group. You've got to search for a little bit of a number here, and I'm going to go inside with the 1, El Delary. Of the rest of those picks, probably, when it's all said and done, I think the 7 might be a little bit higher price than the 3, but I'm keen around my old buddy, El Delary.
Love that
Uh-huh.
there. Old Faithful there,
Yep.
El Delary, 1, 2, 3, 7. Keith, let's go to your early pick 4. You got a nice ticket for us. Let's see what you got for us here on this Friday.
Yeah, $12
There we
ticket
go.
for the weekend. We're gonna need some cash. ATMs could be hit up quite a bit Over under on trips 3.5 for this weekend, I guess for
this.
me. But anyhow, 2 deep to get you started. Race 2, and a key scratcher the 7, Stormy Irish Lass is out. So take out the 4 and the 7 in race 2. Signed up on South Pacific. Yum, eat it up. Race 3, 4 and 7, Synetic. Really visually strong. We're gonna see that race, that win last time out in the 7 War Humor. Race 4, 1, 6, and 9, Neolithica might be able to get out there on the front and control things. Wrap it up, race 5 with the 7 and 10, Wonder Girl, Wise and Elegant. Jumping a condition is the 10, but certainly still works, and they key up against the right horse today. $12 ticket.
Fully agree with that. We'll get into race 5 in just a touch. Let's talk about your opener here in race number 2 in this claiming 12-5. As you mentioned, scratches in the 4 and the 7. Door slaying it. Big Scratch and Stormy Irish Lass for the girls, going 5.5 on the dirt, which have never won 2. Keith, you go with the number 3, as you mentioned. Yum, eat 'em up. Mario Saray, Grant Whitaker. You also have the number 1 in your ticket as South Pacific for Mary Epler and Michael Sanchez.
Yum, eat it up. When looking at the field, you got a scratch if the horse is slaying it, who was going to be speed. Stormy Irish Lass, I think, was going to be close. But Sunny Sunshine and Ice Mocha, the road is going to go through those two. Yum, eat it up. Drops, can make that little pop move from just off the pace. 5.5 is going to work. Questionable drop, though. Dropping down in class, and this has not been, for a horse that's going to be a short price, hasn't been really the best for Saray. He's trying to get back on the board here in Maryland. 5 for 49, only 10% the last 3 years at Laurel on the dirt with his kind of plummet, 50%. Claiming drop. But, yeah, I think this horse should be sitting perfect once they turn for home. So some questionable speed types to battle. But South Pacific is knocking on the door for Mary Epler, has strung together good race after good race. Showed a little bit more positional speed at 7 furlongs last time out. I think we'll be up a little bit closer again today. I like the life that she showed. This 5-year-old mare trying to get it done. The only problem, you stare at that 1 for 30. Might make it 2 for 31 today, but I think South Pacific's definitely a user because I think that speed's going to come back to a couple of these.
3-1-2-9 there for Keith Fusel there in race number 2. We're going to go ahead back to the turf in race number 3 in this allowance optional 62.5, going 5.5 here on the Laurel Lawn. Second wire finish for these 2-year-olds. No scratches. Let's go ahead and take a look at Synetic. You and I share this top selection for Antonio Machado, Jamie Rodriguez. Let's take a look at that first win last time out.
Yeah, this is a colt we liked last time and got away at 4-1. I thought that was a square price off of a troubled trip 2 races back. Pinched back, was caught into some traffic in behind horses. This was like the breakout win now for Synetic. 5 races under its belt, and this was the best yet. Kind of works outside, makes this run. I tell you, this was good. Synetic very strong through the final 1/8 of a mile. Eager, that's another one of those words. If I throw that into that short comment, go back and take a look. This horse was not getting beat, wanted to do more. Only question comes back a little bit quick. Maybe hasn't quite run as fast as War Humor, some of the numbers suggest, or Jungle Glow. He fits, and I think I liked his, where he was into the race a little bit sooner last time, and I think he can settle almost anywhere. 7-8 lengths back is not going to hurt this guy because there's a couple horses kind of transitioning to the turf too that have shown some speed on other surfaces, but this is the horse going in the right direction, Synetic, for Machado. Maybe we can get a couple wins, El Delary and Synetic.
There we go. He did it all on his own as well. So, and I mean, normally, Keith, I'm a bit hard on horses. I'm a bit tough on my picks if they're coming back quickly. But I think with this being the last turf weekend of the season, we're going to have some horses that are going to be coming back quick. So just keep that in mind as well. Anything to add on? Let's talk about War Humor. We've got to respect War Humor here. Ollie Figgins, Forest Boys, just denied last time out.
Just denied and was perched outside of fairly competitive pace and looked like he had to kind of go on by top of the lane. He had Stormy Flight boxed in for life, and he just kind of got, I want to say, hanging a little bit. It looked like he just kind of lost focus a touch. He stayed on. He only gets beat in nose, but I mean, I thought visually maybe not as strong as what the margin looked. But I think he's another one that can take a little bit further back, maybe moved up a little sooner because they didn't want things to get away from him. I think has a chance to settle, holding very good form here for Ollie Figgins. This one definitely likes the turf. Jungle Glow right there again, second off a break in that same race. Might have had the tougher of the 2 trips, had to prompt the whole way, and then was caught down inside, but was dead game to the wire for Chuck Spina. 4.792 street hockey. I'm going to talk about that one real quick. Never been on the turf. Gallop last time for Maiden 20. A little protect move up to 50 here. Phil Schoenthal, some good stats. Turf sprints, 26%, 387 ROI. Some good numbers work. Breeding Street Boss, yes, I like. Chaviso the mare, there's turf in this family. Second dam topped at an 85. This horse is a half to low mileage who want to stake on the turf down at Colonial. So I would not completely dismiss or glaze over street hockey without a good look.
There we go. Love that. 4-7-9-2 for Keith Fusel there in race number 3. Race number 4 starts that Rainbow Pick 6, and it's we're going to take a look at my ticket very quickly. I do end up finding a single in race 8 on the number 5. For Robbie Bales. Had a little bit of a troubled trip in that effort last time out, just kind of looking to come up from it from Samey True. 3 deep in races 5 and 9, and then in race number 6, that's going to be an interesting race. That's a proper, as I usually say, a proper jackpot super high 5 there. $28.80, especially with the last weekend over here for turf season. I'm fine with, spending just a touch of money here on these tickets, but of course split it any which way you want. I have a price in race number 7 on the number 11. We'll get to that in a moment. $28.80. Let's start that first leg of the Rainbow Pick 6 here in race number 4 in this claiming 7,500 for the girls 3 and up, which have never won 4 condition race here.
Right.
7 furlongs on the dirt for the girls 3 and up. Keith, you go with the number 9, Neolithica. Let's take a look at exactly why you have this one on top. Just had a little bit of a pressure issue last time out.
Yes. Absolutely. Was off from April to late October. Unfortunately, was caught in a very, very spirited duel for that level. Okay, 22-4, 45-4, going 7/8 of a mile. Off the break, every right to get tired. But I tell you what, I thought she held very well till about the 16th pole. All things considered with that situation, that's good enough, guys. She fades late. She's 2 for 3 at this distance. Yes, a couple of those wins might have been aided by a slight track bias, but I think she's the speed of the speed here. Second off of a break for Damon and Stormy's stable. I think you're going to see some improvement. Maybe Watch Me Disappear tries to go, or Baby Socks, but if Neolithica can clear early, I think she can go coast to coast in race number 4. The horse that just kind of stands out is the 6 when you're looking sheerly at numbers. I mean, like an omnifig almost, Genie and a bridle. Where's she been is the question. You see pairs, Keys up against Devil Pays in Gold, Liquidator, Toussaint. There's no horses like that in here. 7/8, maybe not the easiest of distance off the break, but again, she brings a B+ effort. She probably beats this field. That's the kicker there. 8-5. She's going to be awfully short. I'm looking for Neolithica to get to the front. Flashy 2, you don't have in the mix. You've got Taraba. You've got Marici. We know these two, maybe not the strongest combination percentage-wise, but I think they still work. This horse comes back to the main track. 7/8 of a mile, never been 7/8. Does show a 73 buyer on the go back on the main track. Preferably wants a fast track as well. I think when you look at that race on the page on the sloppy sealed, the 30 Parks, I'm dismissing that. So I think Flashy 2 for that kind of stranger would work for me in race 4.
At 4-9-6-1-2 there with Neolithica on the outside for Keith Fusel to start that Rainbow Pick 6. Let's go ahead to race number 5. Starts the late pick 5 as well. Of course, Keith, you mentioned we had that really nice payout of 21 grand, but it begins on the turf here in this claiming 30,000, which have never won 3, going 5.5 here. Scratches in the 3, 13, and 15. You and I are going to talk about Wise and Elegant, who we both take a stab with here. Jane Sabelli, Forest Boys, 4-1. Let's take a look at that effort last time out on the turf on the 20th of October.
Yeah, and I'm breaking one of my rules here. Yeah, you've got a 1 for 17 in a 3 in life. So jumping a condition, but you say you got to find a spot. It's the end of the turf season. We got to find something, and there's some trouble. Checking upper stretch with Sanchez is going to work outward. For the final furlong, and Wise and Elegant closes up well. For 45, you go back, Gift of Gab. So the right runners that she is facing, along with Troy's horse, Wonder Girl, these two to make a run from just off the pace, I think it's going to work. Wise and Elegant, yes. Wonder Girl, yes. I just think there's enough flow. Designer's got to go from the inside. Pop Over Gal's a stranger, but trying the turf for the first time could bring speed to the page. A couple other ones want to be forward. I look for these two to pick up the piece, especially the way I've seen some of these races develop and finish over the last couple weeks on this turf course.
There we go. 10, 7, 11, 1 there for Keith Fusel in race number 5. We will be right back after this commercial for the rest of Friday's card. Welcome back. We start things off, of course, with that jackpot super high five. We have a nice carryover coming into today. Going to be 10 grand by the time we get to that race in race number 6. Post time at 2:51 in this maiden, claiming 12.5, going 5.5 on the dirt for the 2-year-old fillies. Also starts the late pick 4 as well. Keith, you go with the number 7, and Curb with the weight off for Phil Capuano. Eric Fuentes gets the call.
This is the jam move. Purchased for $5,000.
Right.
Okay. They thought a little bit more of her. She was in for maiden special weight, maiden 45s, not quite getting it done. You see the figures. You're like, all right, we want to win. Let's get a little bit of a return. And I think that's the call here for Phil Capuano's runner. I just think this one's going to get to the front or just off the pace. Did not really fade much at all for that last race when protected with the waiver. Gets in light. I'm going to take the shorter price here, unfortunately. On Curb, because the other ones that have run, I just there's not a whole lot there to get me too excited.
There we go. 7, 11, 4, 8. Anything you wanted to add about the 11 on the outside?
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good race. Off the claim, did not run well at Delaware. Maybe just didn't like the surface, but did run okay. But the number went up 7/8 of a mile and stayed at 5.5 here. Yeah, may get run off its feet a little bit early. But you're going to have chasers into this race with Curb up front. Yes, the conditioning off of the 7/8 can rally into it.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead to race number 7. We're back on the dirt, the lovely Laurel lawn here in this allowance. Not a restricted, actually, yes, a restricted allowance here, going a mile on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up. Let's go ahead and talk about the scratches in the 6, 7, and 10, as well as the 14, 15, and 16. Keith, you go with the number 1, coming off of a 195-day layoff in Jamestown for Arnaud Delacour. Daniel Centeno, you got a special stat on that.
I do, and the key here is reported first-time gelding for Delacour. Smaller sample, but it certainly works. Past 5 years on the turf, 3 for 6, 4 for 6 in the money. First off of this type of layoff. 180-day or more. You said 195?
Yeah.
That fits the parameters.
Right.
Right.
Yes,
ROI is 396, and I think the last one that we saw this was Shea Pierre, who's a pretty good horse. But Jamestown, I think out of some key races at Gulfstream, flow should be okay, and would not surprise me if this guy is up on or near the lead being fresh, because he was used making a middle move in that last race on April 27 for Barkley down at Gulfstream Park. But that first-time Delacour, there's lots of things to like here, and you got a couple horses kind of trying to get through this condition. Let's get to the front or stay just off of it. And at Jamestown, I think they're working. Brought them back for this. I don't know if it's a tune-up or something down the road, maybe for Gulfstream or Tampa.
Yes.
Possibly.
That's what they did last year.
Yeah.
This horse came off of the same type of layoff. Not same type of layoff. Very similar. Came off a long layoff. Was able to hold and sustain and kind of keep it together going longer, and then ended up going for that Gulfstream Park season. So I have a feeling that's going to be the same game plan for them. Let's talk about the number 2. We both land on Covert Cat, Michael Trombetta, Michael Sanchez. Last time out on the 18th of October over here at Laurel.
Just pretty steady. You look at some of these recent races, 4 of the last 6 are all good. But Covert Cat is a horse that, he's pretty adaptable to the flow. And you saw in this race, he's a little bit close early. They ran away from it. He makes another move. A little late to switch leads there past the 8th pole. But, again, very willing to a pretty good horse there in Mission North for Jack Fisher, who was able to kind of control things up front. Game to the wire. Yes, Spritzer, we're going to wait another day. He's scratched. But I like to put, just the way that Covert Cat's so tactical. You can put him kind of anywhere. And against this group, should not be too far back once they hit the far turn. He'll probably just be biding his time inside and waiting for a seam to develop.
Yeah.
Card trick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Again, I'm not worried about this. Second off, a little bit of a break. He's up against 2x2.
Yeah.
He's just a worry. He's just a tough old horse, 2x2. Grinds it out. This guy is going to be into the flow early. I think he stays the trip. Mission Man
Yep.
also intrigues me.
Absolutely.
One World wouldn't ride last time on the 19th. Interesting move, shortening up. That turf course that particular day, that was a day I wasn't here, but I was talking to Dave and a couple other people. Speed was holding pretty well. 19th, 20th on the turf. Mission Man stretching back out. He definitely works at this 1 mile distance.
Absolutely. 1, 2, 4, 5 for Keith Fustel there in race at number 7. We go on to race number 8, our feature race of the day here on the dirt, at least the dirt feature. I think the 7 was the turf feature there. That was a nice race. But back to the dirt in this allowance, optional 62.5, going 3/4 of a mile here for these 2-year-olds. No scratches. You and I are looking for a comeback effort for Samey True. Let's take a look at that unfortunate trip last time out.
This was a tough go. Maryland Million Day in the nursery. Just didn't break maybe the best, but then gets put in a little bit of a pickle inside.
Yeah.
Do it for Michael. Outside kind of plays a little cat and mouse and a little intimidation game maybe slightly. This guy tries to send up in there and said, nah, not really comfortable. Let me get back out of here. And that was it. Just kind of got off rhythm, tracked the pace, a slight fade late. Was able to get it done first time out. This is a horse took a lot of money in both starts. For this horse to get bet down to $1.70 first out for Robbie, that's a lot of money for a Robbie first time starter. Very good trainer, but I think maybe the breeding was there. People looked and saw Princess Kokachin. Some other ones in there, Sparkle, fast horses, winning horses. I think Samey True with a clean break right to the front today and gets it done.
I agree. The number 1 on the inside, Septarian, second-time starter, first time against winners, coming over from Charlestown. Going to be a speed. Well, not necessarily. This one came from off of the pace over at Charlestown. But Javier Contreras, Juan Nunez, Porticono. Portonico.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay.
It's Friday. I need a warm up.
Were you at the Ravens game last night?
Well, you want to know what? No, but you want to know what's funny is that I was in the barn. I was in the barn with Britannico. Anyway, it's that just makes this whole situation even worse. Regardless, 20% with his second-time starters, 10 for 49.
Yeah, I'm looking for a little bit of a price underneath. 5-1 morning line. We might get a touch more. It'll be interesting to see how the gamblers react to that debut win. I went back and watched it. Inside post at 4.5 for a firster is not easy at Charlestown. Broke a tad slow. Was able to kind of move up inside of horses, worked outward, and ran down a horse that wasn't really stopping. You could tell by the enthusiasm of the announcer, Paul Espinosa's voice, that he was visually impressed by this debut effort for Septarian. Blessed by Lucky, he was a farrier horse that shown some speed down here. He ran away late, and he ran away on the gallop out. And Javier Contreras is a pretty sharp trainer. You don't think, he's just up at Charles. He's won races all over. And this horse showed that ability. Maybe he's not quite up to, a horse like Samey True or Amy's Music, but the value that he's going to give, I'm going to give him another shot because I think he looks like a horse that wanted more ground.
No, love that. Okay, love that logic, especially coming in at a potential value. We'll get there to that race. That post time is 3:49 as we go on to our finale here in this maiden claiming 20,000 on the lovely Laurel lawn. Second wire finish for these girls, 3, 4, and 5 scratches in the 11 and the 12, as well as the 15 and the 16. The 14 does draw in. Keith, you have the number 7 on top. And more for Liz Merriman with Horacio Caramanos gets the blinkers on here today.
I think that might be the key. It's a turf family. I expected maybe a little bit more last time out. Got position early, but wasn't a little bit tight, very close to the rail. Might even grazed it a little bit. Upper stretch. Just flattened a touch. Maybe put into the race a little too soon. Maybe we can take back a little bit further when looking at some of the siblings to be able to make that run from just off the pace. And you have to seek value. You've got the Trombetta horse is going to be awfully short. Ariel Moon, the 6 is going to be, 7 to 5, even money range, maybe a touch lower. It's been close, no doubt. The unfortunate DQ at Timonium. Got back to the turf last time out. Took pressure past the 8th pole, a slight fade, but I think there's some other horses that can be a pest to Ariel Moon. I don't want to take that short price. She will be in my exacta, but I look for a horse like more to sit and patient with Caramanos and make that run. Even the 14 who draws in, Glamorous for Jerry Robb. Similar styles that might be able to just kind of get it done and upset the apple cart in the nightcap.
Absolutely. Let's talk quickly about the number 1, Princess Brandy, first-time starter for Corby and Michael Sanchez. Do you have anything in particularly special about this one?
Well, Noble Mission's not the strongest first out stat. I'm getting you to that 5% with the first-time starters.
Sure.
But you're looking at a field, you might be searching for a little bit of value late. Corby Caiazzo, first start, you see smaller sample, 25%, ROI good. But the full sibling was a 5-time turf winner, 9 for 17 in the money with a top of an 86 buyer. A very patient here, gets this start late in the turf season, akin to a horse that ran second in debut. A little bit, worth a look, especially at that number. Maybe come down, check this horse out in the paddock, tab the tote board, see if it gets any maybe possibly sneaky early play, and if that play holds for the 1 Princess Brandy. But a lot of the money's going to be pouring in on Ariel Moon. I'm just going to go for a little bit better price with the 7 and the 14.
Nope, I'm definitely keeping an eye on that one in the paddock there for the last race. Keith, let's talk about how you go 7, 14, 6, 1. Let's talk about your value plays here to wrap things up here. You bookend on our value plays here, starting in race number 1 on the number 1, El Delary, good old faithful El Delary for Machado Lopez. It was morning line 12-1. Now we're at a nice 6-1. We had some early money, but things are starting to stifle. What is up with me in words today? But I don't know what's going on. But this one's starting to calm down here at 6-1.
Yeah, El Delary. I'm hoping I can get a little bit more. I believe Victor's going to pick up the mount for Carlos in here, but we can double check. I may have written it down wrong. I thought I saw Victor going to ride the 1, El Delary. But off of a troubled trip last time, I can't fault the ride. Jock tried to save ground, just got caught in behind horses, has been, really good against some better horses of late. And I think there's enough flow to set things up for this one's run. Once again, a 5-time winning 3-year-old and against a lot of horses that have not won 3.
Let's also talk about your other, at the end of the day, in race number 9, more, Liz Merriman. Caramanos here at 8-1 on the number 7 with the blinkers.
Absolutely. That's the key. 8-1, I'll take that. Anything close. Everybody's going to be chasing Ariel Moon. Patience, the blinkers going on. Maybe we'll get this one to settle, this filly to settle a little bit more, bring a stronger finish. I think Exacta Tri Super, you like me, that's where you're going to use this one for your best value.
There we go. Thank you so much, Keith. Also wanted to highlight just a little bit of support in the Maryland Stallions and the Maryland Breeding Program. Great Notion just notched his first millionaire with a horse that we're very familiar with here in Coastal Mission with Jeff Runco. They won the 49ers Stakes a couple weeks ago up there in New York.
Yeah, I mean, Coastal Mission is a horse that has knocked heads with some really, really good sprinters. I even think he stretched out once or twice, didn't he, up in New York? So great notions, a stallion that we've seen here for quite a while now in Maryland, and he can get you any kind of runner. Turf, dirt, short, long. The versatility has been tried and true all the way through for Great Notion, one of my favorite stallions.
Absolutely. Great